Hi and welcome to the channel. Now, a couple of months ago I did a video on these small scale 3D printed resin bodies, all a British cars, so I appreciate you guys in the US may or may not be familiar with some of these, but for us over here in the UK, it's great to see some of these old British classics being made available through the 3D printing market. Everything we're going to be looking at today is going to be in 1/24 scale. At the time when I did my last video, everything was really 1/32. The majority of stuff from this chap was all small scale stuff, with the exception of a couple of 1/24 scale bodies, which he just started testing the market with. And since then, more and more have become available. So we've got about 8 or 9 to look at today. But we looked at all these in the last video, really nice 1/32 scale stuff, Austin A60s, Mk2 Granada estates, Mk2 Granada coupes, and it's really nice Ford 400e van. Now he has started doing these in 1/24 scale as well. Unfortunately, I've not got one of those yet. But the reason I like these, they're just really easy to work with. There's minimal print lines in any of these, and really easy to prep. You don't need to spend an age prepping. We built this one for the channel. We did a full video on this, and it took me about 20 minutes to fully prep this body, if that, before doing any other modifications like taking the bumpers off. But for people like me, lazy modelers who just want to do the bare minimum to get paint on the model, these things are great, to be quite honest with you. Now this is the second time I've shot this video, to be quite honest with you. I went through the full video, and as you see, they all come in this white resin, which is really nice actually, but for camera it doesn't show up any of the detail at all. So I've not prepped any of these at all. I've just literally taken all 8, 9 of them out the window, dusted a bit of grey primer on them just to show the detail off a bit better, and I've done a bit of a test, and it really has made all the difference to what we're actually looking at in this video. So again, nothing's prepped. This is how they come, except from a dusting of grey primer. So we've not been sanding any print lines out or anything, but this is the first one we're looking at. It's a Mark 1 Triumph 2000. One of the nicer shapes of the, I think they got a bit boxy after this shape, as everything did in the 70s. I think this was like came out in the mid 60s, this one. So always reminded me a bit of the Corvair on the front and what have you. But just a really nice obscure car to be made available. And like I said, the print detail on these are always really nice, really nice crisp see-through door handles. And I think that's the difference between 3D printing and resin. You can get the detail a lot better with these, but a lot of the 3D print bodies at the moment, they do require a little bit more work, and I think these are priced a bit more than other similar bodies on the market. Not to say that they're any worse or any better. It's just that I think these are priced just for the quality of the resin used, and the fact that you don't have to spend as much time sanding out print layers, which for somebody like me who just wants to crack on and get things done, it just saves me time. So it's all about what you value more, your time or your wallet likes, which sort of depends on who you go for and what have you. But there's other people out there want to have a look at their 3D printed stuff, and we'll be looking at them in the future, I'm sure. But for now, I've just bought a few more of these. These were on auction, so they're a little bit cheaper than the buy it now prices, but I will put a link into that chap's UK eBay page, and you can look at what he's got. But yeah, this is like I say, a Triumph 2000. Really nice body is this one. Details are really nice. I mean, all these come with molded, the bumpers molded to the body. I think Andy over at Resin Replicas, he has separate bumpers and what have you. So, but for me, you know, I can work with this. It's easy to scribe detail out of there and what have you. So, but this is, like I say, just a really nice proportioned body. Really nice quality sort of resin which they use on these ones. Grill details quite nice, like but like I say, I mean, on some of these, like the panel lines, you know, you could really do with scribing them out, but it's really nice material to scribe out. Is this stuff really soft? It isn't grainy, so it doesn't feel like you're dragging through a bag of gravel when you're scribing the panel lines. It's just really consistent throughout. But yeah, I mean, the Triumph 2000, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of the car. Like, it's certainly not one of my favourite classics, but it was at a price that I could afford, so you know, I thought I'd add that one to the collection. Like, but and then we got this thing here. This is the Austin 1800. My mum actually had one of these. I'll show you a picture of it soon. But again, just really nice grille detail, and this is why I primed the body, because in the video I've just done, you know, you couldn't see any of this. Is 2-star quiet, and it just wasn't focusing at all. Whereas with a bit of grey primer just dusted over the top, you know, you can really see the details a lot better on this thing and see how nice they are. Like, and but yeah, I mean, my mum had one of these. I think it was before I was born. Yeah, this is a picture of that car outside my granddad's old house in Escrick, just a little village outside of York. And that's me eldest brother Dom, and he looks about 2 years old. So I'm guessing this would have been around 1978. So I was born in 80, so a good couple of years before I was born. So I don't think I ever saw that car, to be quite honest, but I always remember this picture and outside my granddad's old house. And yeah, I remember that got burgled a couple of times, armed robberies. Remember my granddad opening the door to a couple of guys in balaclavas and with shorn-off shotguns, and he unfortunately took a wraparound canister with one of the sawn-off shotguns and what have you. So, but then I think they sold that house in the 80s for something ridiculous, like 60 odd grand, and that house is worth probably 3 or 4 million now, to be quite honest with you. So it just goes to show how the housing market's changed and what have you. But yeah, it's a really nice body, and I was going to buy one of these in 1/32 scale, and then I saw they were coming out in 1/24th, and I thought if I was ever going to put the time into building, recreating that car, like, you know, I'd rather do it in 1/24th scale. But yeah, just really nice detail throughout is this one. Like I say, I think you could always do with scribing these panel lines out a bit more. Some of them are better than others. I think if you were to blast a few good coats of primer on there, you might start losing some of the panel lines on these. But they're there to start with, and a good guide to just scribe. I mean, I scribe everything anyway, regardless whether it's styrene resin or 3D print resins. But yeah, just another nice little body. All these are kind of really pretty obscure. There's a couple of ones which people probably recognise a little bit more. Like this Mk2 Cortina. Again, just really nice sort of grille detail on that. We're even struggling with the grey primer to get the focus, but you know, it's a lot better than how it was with the just the bare white resins. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, like there's even with the grey primer highlighting everything, you know, the resin lines, the print lines are minimal, to be quite honest with you. It sounds so easy as well with like 1200. Like I say, this grey primer is just going to act as a nice guide coat, but I know a chap called Rick Mason, really nice chap, and probably my favourite builder of all time, to be quite honest with you, is a UK builder, and he's building one of these, but the 2-door version, and I think the one he's building is from Andy at Resin Replicas, and doing an absolutely amazing job of that, sort of doing it like a late 70s street machine, sort of high-rise kind of style of the 70s and 80s over here, and yeah, he's making that body look absolutely amazing, to be quite honest with you. But I think Andy's stuff, his stuff comes with separate grills and what have you. So there's pros and cons. I think they need a little bit more work, but they're certainly cheaper. And like I say, he has separate grills. But you know, for people who just want a really nice body and don't want to put all the work into as much work into doing this kind of stuff, prep wise, you're gonna have a bit of an easier time with these, to be quite honest with you. And like I say, I mean, proportions on this are lovely. Like I remember I bought a 1/24 scale MK2 Cortina, which was from a really obscure model company from like the 60s, and it didn't even represent a MK2 Cortina. It was just terrible. So I sold it within about 2 days of me actually buying it. So I just sold it as a nice box art. Don't expect anything in as inaccuracy. But now we're in 2024, and things like this are coming more available to us through different people. I mean, I do really like this stuff, to be quite honest with you. Just for the quality of the resin and the quality of the print, like I said before. But people might recognise that one a little bit more. We did get another MK2 Cortina estate. I like estates, to be quite honest with you. Everything's pretty much the same. The print detail on the front's nice, and like I say, if you wanted to detail up these more, you could always drill the headlamps out and put headlamp bezels in there and what have you, just to make them look a bit more realistic. Or it's entirely up to you what you did with them. But I mean, they would make great slot car bodies as well in 1/24 for the people who do the 1/24 scale stuff. But I was thinking this would make like a nice Phantom Lotus Cortina. Do it in white with a green stripe and what have you. But yeah, I mean, you're obviously going to have to find your own chassis donors for these things, and wheels and everything else. I mean, I think when it comes to these, the body's going to be the easiest part of it all. It's then up to you to make the glass everything else like. So I think that's where your time's going to be. But I think my struggle with that Austin A60 I did was it was 1/32 scale, and I have absolutely no 1/32 scale parts. So that's why I had to scratch build a lot of that. I had to scratch build the chassis, everything in that. Whereas I can probably find a chassis which will fit under there, or we can shorten, narrow, or do what we have to do to make it fit these bodies. And we do all the different parts which are available in 1/24 as well. 3D print kit parts. It's only limits your imagination, really. But this is a bit of an obscure one. Like I say, this isn't usually the kind of thing I would have bothered buying. But like I say, these are at auction as opposed to buy it now, so it just had made some of these more affordable to just sort of buy to have a look at and show you guys. And if there's This is a Wolseley 1822. It's like the superior version to the Austin Princess, if you can call it that. Nicknamed over here the Wedge, just for obvious reasons. Really low nose front end and big bulky notchback. Went down at an angle, hence why there's a lot of pictures of these sort of photoshopped under doors. But yeah, I mean, I think the difference between the Austin Princess and the Wolseley, bit like all the Vanden Plas stuff, you know, they shoved a sort of grill on the front and charged a bit extra, and I think you got better interior and stuff like that. But again, you know, this is for what it is. It's a nice body, you know, for people who want a 1/24 scale Wolseley or, you know, Austin Princess, whatever they are, you know. Yeah, at least they're available now. I think these panels here, I think they were vinyl, and then the roof was painted. But again, like I say, I think you can see a bit more of the print on this one. But again, it wouldn't take you long to sort out sandy, smooth, and what have you, and get them ready for proper primer and what have you. But yeah, just nice trim detail everywhere on these things. And what else have we got? This one Martin Dare might like. This is I think this is like a Mark III Jaguar XJ6 Series 2. Really popular car with the Banger Boys, stock car racers. But again, really nice grille detail on this. You know, I think this is one of the earlier ones, like with the nicer grills and what have you. Like I say, nice rear end detail and what have you. And like I say, this material's really easy to scribe as well, so you can easily just scribe along them bumpers, get a bit more definition into them before you paint it. And that's all I did with that Austin A60, just scribed around all rear bumpers, so I could either foil them or just mask them up and use the chrome paint. But yeah, again, toyed with buying one of these on numerous occasions. Really like this style Jaguar, and they're still relatively affordable right now. But it's just the fact of getting a classic car right at the moment. I don't think I need the headache of worrying about breaking down every 5 minutes, or just wondering what's going to go wrong with the car next, saying that me BMW I've got, you know, that's just as bad, to be quite fair. But at least when you break down, you can sort of sit in comfort with a nice heater and what have you, and heated seats, and wait for the AA man. Can imagine these are a little bit colder inside. But yeah, really nice. Again, I think this was one which went a little bit more on auction than the others. Obviously, just because it's more of a popular car, and I can imagine banger racers, banger modelers or stock car modelers, they'll probably like this one as well. Like, yeah, a lot of these got raced and smashed up, like. So. But yeah, that was a nice one. Was that? Coming to end of them, don't worry. But you know, this is a Jensen Interceptor. I think this is Mark III Jensen Interceptor. You know, if I won the lottery, this would be another car I'd probably get. But I was thinking it was still relatively affordable. But when I was looking on eBay the other night, you know, the 20 grand buys you kind of an okay road going one. But yeah, they're all the way up to sort of 60-70 grand for a really nice one. And not saying that they'd get that. I think the classic car market's a bit on its arse at the moment. I know people are still asking COVID prices, but I don't think much is selling, in all honesty. So I know people can ask a lot of money, but don't necessarily mean they're gonna get it, because I think we're all in the same position right now. Like, but yeah, I definitely have one. I think these all had Chrysler V8s. I was speaking to Mike. Mike let me know that they came with 383s or 440s. You know, this is quite a small car compared to American cars. You know, weight to power ratio, as you've probably got a lot more out of these, but really, really nice car with these. Really did like the Jenson Interceptor, and I think, you know, topic of conversation was the rear glass, you know, that. So all this kind of thing, you know, if you're going to buy one of these, you know, you're going to have to make yourself, and you know, it's not going to be a walk in the park to make a really nice rear glass for that. You know, a vacuum former and a buck would certainly help that. I think it'd be a bit difficult bending sheet styrene. I think you could probably get away with it, but the line down to the curve there, you know, that's going to give you a bit of a problem. Like, but you know, that's not to say nothing's impossible. Like, and I think you'd make something okay looking with just with sort of packaging. A bit of heat or bending it in the right place to meet the contours, but and like I say, all this stuff really cleans up really easily and what have you. But yeah, I was really happy to get that one. I did actually buy a couple of these in 1/32 scale sort of damage. I paid next to nothing for them, a few quid, and I'd probably make a couple out of one of them in 1/32 scale. But now I've got this one, I mean, I'm certainly not going to bother with them, like, and I'll probably never get round to these, to be quite honest with you, at all. So, and we did look at these. These were the ones which, at the time, at that last video, they had. I think he had two 124 scale bodies at that time. This one and the next one we were going to look at. But I was so impressed with this. With this Morris Minor, you know, just really nice detail throughout this, and you know, that's kind of what got me. I think this was probably one of the first ones I bought, and I was expecting a lot less. I was expecting a lot more 3D print lines in it, and I think once I saw this one, I kind of saw the quality of the resin and what have you, and knew I'd probably end up buying a few more. And yeah, so this is a really nice one. You know, you've got separate gaps for the bumpers. Like I say, they're not separate, so if you're okay with that and everything else, then you know these are kind of ideal for you. If you want ones with separate bodies, there's other guys out there doing them with separate parts and what have you. But for ease, you know, like I said, these are really good, these ones, for that reason. And last one, which I think this was the only other one they had in 124 scale, Mk2 Granada. Brother had one of these. Well, he raced a lot of these. I mean, back in the 90s and early thousands, you know, you could pick up these for a few £100 for one which was just set for the racetrack, and so many of these got raced. But he had a really nice black X-Pack, top of the range, you know, black with black leather, really nice, all the really nice alloys on it. And I think that was probably only like 1,500, £2,000 for a really nice road going one, and really nice condition, as opposed to that car now in black on black would probably, you know, be 12, 15 grand, maybe a bit more. So even stuff like this, you know, has gone up so much in value, and you know, Fords are always going to keep the value and keep pricing for the most part. And you know, to say the majority of these got raced, I mean, these were raced, in probably thousands have gone on the racetrack, like, just because they were so strong. Good engines and what have you. It's definitely a favourite. And I think even the Bangers boys now are probably paying a couple of grand for a car to race on the track now. I think the days of a 200, 300 quid car are long gone, like, and even for a ropey one. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much the last of them. You know, I'm gonna buy a few resin bodies from other places, other chaps. You know, we'll have a look at them in comparison to these. I mean, these are really nice for their own reasons. Like I said, the lack of prep which is going to be involved in these makes a huge difference. Like, but as I got them, I just got them in, like, and I thought, you know, we may as well make a quick video of them, you know, before I put them on shelf and forget about them or give them away or do whatever I do with them. I'm certainly not going to build them all. I am delusional, like, you know, I've got hundreds of kits which I know I'm not going to build all of them, like, so, but you know, that's what's starting to happen in the modelling community over here. We're starting to get some really nice old British classic cars, and I will, like I say, I'll put a link into this chap's eBay page in the description. So if you want to see what he's got, you know, he does 1/32. Well, I think he does from 00 gauge through to 1/32, and now, like I say, he's producing more and more 124 scale stuff. So there's something there for everybody. Yeah, please do go over. I mean, I'm not sponsored or anything by this chap, you know. It's just I wouldn't endorse anything which I didn't think was, you know, really people will be happy with, like, so. But yeah, go over by all means and see what he's got. See if there's anything you fancy. Like I say, this is not all of the 124 scale stuff, you know. Like I say, he's got stuff like this in 1/24 now, so, you know, if you fancy an old 400E and doing an old Italian job replica, then there's something there for you. But yeah, I'll just say, what I'll do is I'll just say thank you to all the people who have subscribed to the channel, all the supporters of the channel. Really, really do appreciate it. I think I don't even know what the next video will be, to be quite honest with you. I need to get building something, but I might have another video in meantime. So yeah, whatever you're doing for the rest of the evening, thanks for watching the video, and we'll just see you in the next one. Okay, see you, bye.